Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Hey, listen, today's episode is brought to you by Hulu Plus. Hulu Plus gives you total control to watch anything, anytime, anywhere. Watch classic shows or all your current favorites. Act now and get a cool special deal just for TMOS listeners. An absolutely free extended trial of Hulu Plus. Just go to huluplus.com/TMOS. Remember, that's huluplus.com/TMOS. And now, the show.
Available on demand every day in iTunes and the Google Play Store and around the world on MikeO'MaraShow.com. What more can we do for you? It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
A new survey has come up with the top ways people buy stuff without paying full price and going into debt. The top three are selling stuff on eBay,
right,
or Craigslist to raise money,
right,
making things to sell to get cash. Would that be crafts?
Yeah, I guess. Now, you're saying these are ways people save money. Can I guess the third one?
Okay.
Adding the letters Stein to the end of your name.
That's not. It's taken him, if anybody had 35 seconds.
How about
in
Berg?
the pool? Did anyone have
nothing?
Big win.
Did anyone have 35 seconds in the pool for Rob Spiewak?
If you're in the, do they have a fantasy racist pool you could get in?
Rob, you know what number 3 is?
What?
Trading a useful skill for either money or the item itself.
Like barter. You see, and that's not what I was thinking. What I was thinking is perhaps you know how to be an auctioneer.
Selling stuff. But that's for others.
You know,
that's charity.
I've had my tonsils taken out.
Not for moi.
But what you could do, Mike, is you could go to the next level.
Right.
And you could say, would you like an auctioneer?
A whole nother, that would be a skill.
That would be a skill.
It's selling stuff on eBay or Craigslist, making things to sell. That's crafts, I guess, to sell. Trading a useful skill.
That's you.
Trying to raise money through a fundraising website. Lying, cheating, or somehow tricking someone into giving you for free or at a huge discount. Rob Spiewak.
That's me. And then what you do is that's just the cake. For the icing, you say, pardon me, do you have 2 10s for this 5? No.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at www.MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Stay tuned for an outstanding entertainment program.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
Let's get down to business.
From the entertainment capital of the world.
Since when do we lock this thing? Come on.
No, we can't go, dude. Sorry.
Holy crap. What happened?
You got pink eye?
Were you giving each other butterfly kisses or something?
Ha ha ha. Very funny. That's not how you get pink eye. You get it from poop particles making their way into your ocular cavities.
Hey, Ben. How's it going? I farted on Jason's pillow as a practical joke. He farted on Jonah's thinking it was mine, and then eventually pink-eyed my pillow. Not proud of any of this, but I think we've all forgiven each other, but we can't go anywhere.
You can get pink eye from farting in a pillow?
Totally.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but you gotta be bare-assed.
Jesus, Martin got it bad. Would someone take a right in your eye?
No. No pink eye for me. I'm just really high.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. Mike O'Mara, Rob Spiewak, Oscar Santana. And now, from his easy chair, here's Mike.
The opposite is the
Is that your most useful impression, Mike? Jerry Rafferty?
I was doing Jerry Rafferty, and then I was morphing into Michael Madsen from Reservoir Dogs.
You do
one of the most disturbing scenes in the world.
You do all the greatest voices.
I don't know. So many things in my brain, Rob. I can't keep them straight.
I understand.
Live from Studio 1K in the Pfeiffer Beck's Broadcast Center, this is the Mike O'Mara Show. We are downloaded worldwide 18 million times. We are powered by Encore Insurance. We're at MikeO'MaraShow.com, 102.9. See? And the mighty 1630.
Something wrong with your microphone?
KCJJ in Iowa.
I think it's fine.
Today is, what is today's day?
18th.
Well, I'll tell you for God's sake.
It's the 18th.
It's
Wednesday.
18th. Wednesday, September 18, 2013. And very excited about the upcoming NFL week.
Ah, yes.
Because I've been checking into my lineups, and I haven't had my weekly conversation with Mr. Josh Murphy yet, but I'm very excited about the prospects of increasing my lead in my winnings on FanDuel.com.
And then you can leave all this podcasting garbage behind. It's all gambling.
That's right. I'll be a gambler.
Mike the Greek.
I'll live in
Mike
Atlantic
Anthony.
City and the different Indian casinos around the country. Maybe we could. How about we
They'll
spend a
ban
year?
you from sports books. You will be so good.
How about we spend a year doing podcasts and going from casino to casino?
That's right. Meanwhile, Mike has been kicked out for counting cards.
Wouldn't that be fun?
My Mercedes.
My Mercedes. FanDuel.com, which we're not talking about, and we should.
We should.
Is the place for 1 week fantasy football leagues for real money. The money is real, immediate cash payouts, no season-long commitment, no upfront fees. You play each week or whenever you want to play. It's all up to you. Set a new lineup each week based on the salary cap. FanDuel.com has huge prizes with immediate cash payouts. And I won last week, and I won the week before, and I'm going to win this week, too, because I'm going to have a great lineup with Josh Murphy.
You're getting happy.
FanDuel is paying out more than $135 million this year, but you have to play to win, so sign up today. Go to FanDuel.com. And incidentally, thank you, Mike O'Mara Show listeners. You are doing that, and they are grateful, and we are grateful.
Makes us look like a kingpin.
Well put. Click on the microphone in the upper right-hand corner. Use the code TMOS to sign up today. New user special. The first 200 listeners to sign up will have their deposit matched up to $200, but you have to enter my code TMOS when you join. FanDuel.com. Don't forget to click on the microphone in the upper right-hand corner and use the code TMOS when you sign up. FanDuel.
Free money, Mike. Free money.
Free money. That's what it is. We occasionally get a little serious on this show, and it's been a serious week here in Washington, D.C., as everybody knows. This horrible tragedy at the Navy Yard is fresh in most people's minds, and a lot of people have been talking about it. We took a different spin on this yesterday, and early this morning when I first came into the studio, I received this message from a listener. Mike, Rob, and Oscar, I need to tell you I am grateful for your stance regarding the killings at the D.C. Navy base. I was one of those people you referenced that ran toward the danger, not at the Navy base, but nearly 20 years ago at Fairchild Air Base in Washington State on 20 June 1994. The circumstances of the two incidents are so similar, it is apparent we have not learned from history, and thus history is repeating itself. However, you are correct. Now is not the time for political discussion. What the people at the Navy base need now are our thoughts, our prayers, and a gentle ear on which they can vent, and a shoulder on which to cry. They will need skilled counseling, whether they know it or not. The sooner the better. The first responders and others with survivor guilt need to hear from their peers that they are glad they made it through the traumatic event alive. They will have a hard time accepting that those who were under their protection were killed and injured on their watch. I struggled with this guilt for many years. After the incident, though, I sought it. After the incident, although I sought it, I did not receive the counseling or support I needed. I developed symptoms of PTSD, irritability, and anxiety. 5 years later, my symptoms progressed and interfered with my ability to do my job, and I left my beloved Air Force career to seek peace. 15 years later, after much perseverance, I finally found that peace and began writing a book to share the lessons of the incident and the aftermath. Though it is too late to prevent the Navy Yard killing, the history depicted in the book may help prevent future incidents and will also benefit those who are suffering from trauma and help them find the help that I needed early on and I didn't receive. As I researched this book and interviewed people who were at the hospital that day, I discovered that I was not alone. Nearly every one of the hundreds of people who were there are still struggling with the effects of trauma, nearly 20 years later, just because they were present during that particular tragedy. I'll be mentioning you guys in the front matter of my book. We may not always agree politically, but I always have agreed with your humor. I found you guys in 1998. The Don and Mike Show, the Mike O'Mara Radio Show, and the TMOS podcast were at times my only company as I isolated myself during my struggles with PTSD and my later attempt to adapt to civilian life. Thank you guys for giving me a sense of friendship and family and helping me keep my odd sense of humor. I effing love you.
Wow.
Today, with the help of the VA, I have found peace. I am happily married and have 2 beautiful kids. I also have a new career in law enforcement. and I am back to protecting and serving. In short, let the survivors of the D.C. Navy Yard know we are glad that they are okay. There are effective programs available through services such as the VA to help them. Let them know they are not alone. Signed, Andy Brown, Staff Sergeant, USAF, retired. That's United States Air Force, retired. And I took this and put this at the end of this letter. Nearly 20 years ago, as an Air Force cop, I rode to the sound of gunfire when an ex-airman who had been recommended for discharge for psychiatric reasons numerous times but was retained on active duty was eventually discharged and came to our base hospital seeking revenge. He killed our psychologist and psychiatrist, and he continued through our hospital firing on men, women, and children. I was on bike patrol and heard the radio call. I rode 3/10 of a mile to the hospital where I encountered the gunman with an AK-47 type rifle. When he refused to drop his weapon and fired at me, I killed him with a shot from my handgun from 70 yards away. That's Andy Brown, Staff Sergeant, USAF, retired. Wow. And we've got Andy on the show right now because I reached out to Andy and asked him if he would come on the show. I want everybody to know that Andy and I have discussed what we were going to talk about. This is still, even 20 years later, a very sensitive subject. Andy has written a book about it. We'll hopefully be able to tell you about that somewhere down the road. But, Andy, you and I were having a brief discussion about the fact that this is, after 20 years, this is something that probably every time you hear of a new town or a Navy Yard, that those feelings just well up inside of you again. Is that the case, Andy?
That is the case. It's similar to what happens around the anniversary date of an incident like this. Traumatic events like this, they change your belief about safety and trust and control. And initially, it's pretty overt, but over time it still remains even subconsciously. And it's just, you hear about these incidents, you see them in the news so regularly that they bring back the depression and anxiety and fear and sadness.
Now, you mentioned, Andy, that although you sought out some treatment for this, was it difficult for you to get that treatment? Was that hard?
It was. Initially they offered it, but I was so numb, I didn't realize I needed any help. But then when I did decide to go and seek counseling, they decided to pull my gun and not let me work the road if I was under the care of a counselor. So that's being a cop. That's your identity. So you don't want them to take your gun and your identity. So I quit counseling and went back to work with the patrolman.
If, since this has happened in the Washington, D.C. area, Andy, my question to you would be we're going to have inevitably listeners or friends or family members. There will be people that know people associated with this situation, whether they work down at the Navy Yard or whether they know somebody who lost their lives. What is, in your opinion, what is the best thing you can do if you encounter somebody that you are aware has been affected by, affected in a direct way or in a closer way to this tragedy? What's the best way to handle somebody like that?
I'd say the best thing would be to let them know that you're there for them, that you're glad that they are okay and that they're alive, and that you're willing to listen when they're ready to talk.
Because a lot of people can say things along the lines of, what can I do? But
right.
I think, it might sound trite, but walking up to somebody and saying, how you doing? And just letting them go if they can go.
When they're ready, I imagine they'll open up. And,
we actually agreed that we don't always see eye to eye politically, but obviously, Andy, when you see that there's one unstable person that went into a base situation, an Air Force base, and now you've got another unstable person, and obviously the system is broken. We were talking yesterday, and obviously you reached out to us after you heard us. We were talking about the fact that screaming and yelling at each other, I mean, we are at a situation where there's so many facets of this and so many things that are broken that we have to fix it. It's 20 years later, the same thing has happened after 20 years. From a security standpoint, I think that it's obvious that there are a lot of problems that we have to fix as far as our bases to secure them. Would you agree with that?
I don't know what else they could have done. It sounds like they had metal detectors and they're checking ID cards. This guy was for some reason trusted to get onto the base. He was permitted. He was authorized. So I think he should have been identified as a threat a long time prior to him going through these gates.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the day of the event itself, but as far as identifying the guy early on.
Yeah, the way you deal with and kind of counsel through mental health these days. A lot of people don't think about it, and the more and more we look through at these tragedies, it's all about mental health.
Yeah.
I mean, 'cause the guys that go in and pull the trigger are normally these guys that this particular shooter that we had in the Navy Yard had. Heard voices, and I hope we can fix it.
I heard one commentary today. They said that the whole mental vetting of so many people that get these low-level security clearances, it is oftentimes farmed out, and it is just a, stamp the paper, move on, and there's such a hurry to, make people okay because that, expedites business. It really, and I don't think it can be. There has to be some weight put on it.
Do you think we should have better we should obviously have better communication, Andy, between our our different departments, whether it be law enforcement or whether it's mental health professionals at the VA to get the message out. Even even personal private doctors. We should have a better lines of communication. Don't you think that might help this situation?
Definitely. At Fairchild and at this Navy base, and many of these perpetrators of mass public murder, they've already been identified as a risk and a threat, and just not to the right people. So the law enforcement, the criminal justice, mental health communities, they need to come together and figure out a way to protect society from people like this before these things happen.
Andy, we talked briefly before I got you on the air today, and I talk about the first responders and the individuals that actually do run to the danger, the people that run into the buildings, the people that run towards the danger, and it's astonishing to me. And I have a lot of friends in law enforcement, very good friends of mine, but as far as somebody who came face to face with this walking death that was there in Washington State at the Air Force Base. What's in your mind? What is in your mind at that moment? Are you working on pure adrenaline? Are you working on training? What does it take to run toward the danger? And in your particular case, literally run into a situation where, because of your actions, more people weren't killed. You faced down the gunman. What does it take to do that? I'm just curious, and I'm not trying to blow smoke. I'm just trying to get my head around it.
I think people react under those stressful situations the way that they are trained. So I prepared myself mentally by rehearsing similar incidents every day in my mind, and so I just reacted. So it was natural for me to just get there. That's
So it's you're saying it's the training, because I've heard a lot of people say that when you train and train and train, you kind of go on automatic pilot in a situation like that. You obviously had you mentioned that you had taken somebody down from 70 yards with a handgun. You trained with your firearm, obviously, to be able to effectively deal with a situation like this. Is that correct?
I thought a gun that was similar to one that we were issued, because we weren't allowed to take those weapons home with us. So I bought one identical to it so I could practice off-duty on my own time. So that muscle memory of pulling that trigger smooth is probably what helped me make that long-distance shot, because that's not a shot we would have practiced at that distance.
Now, after the numbness wears off of a situation like this, how long was it after the event? Was it immediate that you started feeling the trauma of it, or did you stay numb for a while?
I was pretty much emotionally numb for a while. As cops, we learn to stuff our emotions and try to live up to the John Wayne image, but it's not like it happens on TV. So it kind of slowly crept up on me after the numbness wore off. The numbness turned into anxiety and irritability and depression.
Like any PTSD situation, post-traumatic stress disorder, when people have that. What was your final way out? How did you find your way out of this? Obviously, you mentioned you tried to look for the counseling, and it was not available to you. How did you punch your way out of this situation eventually?
First, I got out of the law enforcement career field because of the adrenaline the experience in those jobs was a little too much for me at the time. So being a civilian, I was able to relax a little bit more and not be in the spotlight. But eventually, I kept trying different counseling and different counselors until the VA hooked me up with one of the things that helped me the most was cognitive processing therapy. It just teaches you to retrain your thoughts. The trauma that changes your belief about safety, trust, and control is based on your thoughts and how you are thinking about things, so you can retrain the way that you're thinking, because your thoughts.
Did they offer you any, pardon me, Andy, did they offer you any counseling that you thought valid on the side of law enforcement? If we're talking about counseling and realizing, mental health, do you feel that you were treated well by the people that employed you as opposed to the people that brought the people, the vet people to come on bases? Were you pleased with the care you received?
While I was in the military?
Yes, sir.
They did the best they could with the policies that they had in place, but when they relieved me of duty just for wanting to talk to a counselor, I saw that as a slap in the face at the time.
Yeah, because that becomes like a CYA issue where they have to follow a protocol, and that's not really what you want to do. If you take away someone's livelihood and what they've trained for their entire lives, that might cause more damage than good.
What would be, Andy, in your opinion, and obviously, listen, you're a guy that was doing your job and you were put in this situation, so I'm not asking you to solve the world's problems here, but I do have to ask your opinion. What would your opinion be? What would be something that would at least get us on the path to allowing us to have fewer of these incidents? Is there anything,
a first step anyway,
we
right?
can do? What's number one in your mind? What is something we could do right away?
The first step, and it's a multifaceted process.
Right.
But you can't just address one issue like gun control. I think you have to figure out the type of individuals that are doing this and find a way to protect society from them before they act, not after.
Yeah, because I mean, it does seem if you look at these incidents, it does seem one after the other after
Common
the other.
thread, yeah.
So, well, I mean, it's logic, isn't it? I mean,
Sure.
the type of person that's going to walk into a facility and do this, and in the particular case of the most recent shooter, I mean, my God, hearing voices, vibrations, microwaves, sending
microwave
the
machines,
whole, and you hear that, especially, and this is a guy that shared that with people. That's
he tried to let people know there were problems.
It's it's frightening to me. And do you keep in touch, Andy, with people that were on the base that day?
I do. There's a few people here in Spokane that I keep in touch with, and I've contacted a lot of people in researching this book. And it's good to know that we're not alone in the way that we're still feeling about this incident. Sometimes some of those people are still suffering and haven't received the care that they need. So that's disheartening. But
well, I mean, it sounds like that. It has been a struggle, but a lot of times, and you're putting a book together, and I look forward to getting a copy of that when the book is finished. And it's just amazing that there are people like you. God knows how much more carnage there would have been if you had not encountered this particular guy. But I know, in some ways, that's really not a consolation to you, is it? It still affects you and it still bothers you, does it not?
It does. I'm proud of my actions that day. I mean, I survived one of the ultimate lethal force encounters that a law enforcement officer can, but it was bittersweet knowing that so many people were killed and injured on my watch. And that really ate me up initially. And I'm learning to deal with that now, and that's been a big help.
Now you got two beautiful kids, and you're happily married now. And it's such a story of survival on your end that you're back in law enforcement, and I think that's incredible. And and really on a personal note, you reached out to us and shared your message with us about the fact that the show meant a lot to you, and there's nothing I got. I got it this past weekend at a charity event where somebody was going through a death of a family member, and it is literally the engine that gets me up in the morning and makes me want to come in here and do this show. I wouldn't care if there were 8 listeners to this show. When I get a message like yours, it's just amazing. And when you write in the letter, and I'm reading this here, that for a period of time, and this is kind of sad, really, that we were your only friends during that, and it's just even I have trouble getting my head around that, especially when I look at Oscar and Rob.
Yeah, Andy, I'm with him every day. I don't like him that much.
It's very, very difficult, but I get it again. I'd be lying to our listeners if I didn't say that we do get that type of response that. You can just plug this in, and I guess it's the way we do the show, that we just kind of talk to people. We're not formal broadcasters by any stretch of the imagination. We don't do this very often, but we do when it's merited, and that meant a lot to us. And I don't know whether to say thank you or to say the fact that we were your friends. Maybe you need more counseling, Andy.
Well, I appreciate it. And now that I've been on this show, maybe I can get my wife to listen.
There we go.
Hey, good luck with that.
You know what? I look forward to hearing this because obviously the way you explained the book that you are in the process of writing right now is going to be something that's going to be designed to help people that have been through this, and also recounting your your situation, because I just can't believe the courage that it takes to do something like this. And it touched me when you reached out to me today, and I was so glad that you were able to come on the show. And I really hope that you continue to listen, and good luck with your beautiful wife and your two beautiful children. And congratulations on making it through the other side.
And please stay in touch with us. We'd love to promote the book when it comes out.
Absolutely.
It sounds like an amazing project. Congratulations, Andy.
And good luck out in Spokane. We appreciate that, Andy. Take care of yourself, okay?
Will do. Thanks, Mike.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
That is retired Staff Sergeant Andy Brown, and he took down a shooter 20 years ago at an Air Force base out in Spokane, Washington, and just the courage.
You know what's amazing?
The courage of that is amazing. I thought we'd take a little break from our number, and incidentally, the phone sounded fantastic,
didn't it? Thanks. Would you like to shoot the phone from 70 yards away, Mike?
Did you put a new wire in that yesterday? Oh, I gotta go. Did you put a new wire?
Think how bad it would have sounded without the wire.
I'm wondering whether it could have sounded worse. I'm not sure about
No, what
that.
happens is occasionally, and this happens with a real phone call, some people don't come across the phone as loud.
Really?
That's what it is.
Is that what it is?
It is. He's not. I don't think he was.
Well, call
screaming
my
and
phone then.
Okay.
I'm nice and loud.
Pony, why don't you go into the other room? Though?
Yeah, Pony, go into
the
the other room.
Yeah. Well,
let's call Pony.
This is going to be either going to go great.
Well, it can't possibly go badly.
Right. Well, it could go badly if it sounds great. Then there's
actually.
a problem.
Do you want to call my phone?
I would love to call your house line.
Okay. Do you know that number?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Very good.
Yes.
We'll call that and see how that sounds.
I won't block it.
This is science.
This is just now that we've had our interview. We got through it. We could hear him.
Yeah.
Rob, are you okay?
You want to come do this?
Are you stroking out?
In what capacity am I stroking out, Oscar?
I was just asking.
Now, see, I don't hear the hum anymore.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sounds clear.
It does sound clear.
Yeah.
So Rob's gonna be vindicated.
Look
here.
how violently he's dialing or trying to
trying to dial. Poor Rob.
Oh yeah, poor me.
Poor Rob. Wait a minute. Poor Rob.
Poor Rob.
Oh, it's the fifth time.
Yeah. That's. I hope now the world doesn't know we can edit that in post. Hopefully.
They
I know
can.
he pulled it down.
Hi, Pony.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it does sound like crap.
It sounds like garbage.
It does.
We just proven the point. Okay, Rob is not vindicated.
Oh.
Can we fix the phone sometime in the next couple of weeks? Can we?
I'm sorry, we can't, Mike.
I mean, didn't we spend money on like a new wire the other day? It's really briefest appearance by Pony in the history.
I thought it
of
was
the
maybe
show.
his best.
So, Rob, look, I understand you are. This is not what you were put on this planet to do.
Exactly.
You are not an engineer. We need.
Ironically, this is what I'm being for you to yell at me.
Have I yelled?
No.
Have I yelled?
Okay. For you to express displeasure in the mildest way possible.
Well, I believe Oscar is expressing displeasure as well.
Yes, because when Rob and I worked on it together, it worked. When Rob worked on it on his own.
When we tested it, you and I tested it yesterday, it also sounded right.
But the connection itself worked when we worked on it together.
I believe that
we're stronger as a team than we are alone.
Oh, God, I know that.
I believe that Sergeant Brown was clear. We could understand him, but it was just like
we'll have to
whole
sweeten
time.
the audio a little bit. We'll sweeten the audio. So when you hear it on the actual show, you'll know it's been worked
because
on.
we may be using the phone again in the broadcast when we speak to Todd Moore about his celebrity encounter.
Oh, grand celebrity fun with Todd Moore.
But really, in all seriousness, we'll fix the phone. We were able to hear the guy, but is that amazing? That's what I woke up to when I came into the studio today with a guy that's, it's like a fan letter, and then I'm reading his story.
And when he gets to the last paragraph and he says, oh, by the way, I'm the guy that took down the killer.
Well, technically, Rob, I put that. I actually cut and pasted that into a different order. It was actually right at the front. So
no matter even if he led with it or closed with it, the fact is he put it in there almost as an afterthought because that's not what he's about. He's not about being the hero. He's about being concerned about other people. And I think that's what we need to see more of in a situation like this.
Even though I'm not in law enforcement, I would say people that are in law enforcement that are listening to this right now, when you're talking about the training, just like anything else, when you're talking about a surgeon that's in a delivery room, when you're talking about somebody that's doing brain surgery, heart surgery, it's the repetition, it's the practice, it's the training. You heard this guy took the service-issued weapon and he bought one for himself because he couldn't take it off.
Over and beyond.
And that got him through that.
Exactly.
And 70 yards away. I mean, thank God that he was able to prevent more loss of life.
Two things were highlighted. One, it's important that if you know someone or you're connected or you have family members or friends, just let them know you're there.
Right.
Just let them know you're there, especially with what just happened this past Monday at the Navy Yard. Mm-hmm. And then two is that Rob is not an engineer.
I couldn't agree more.
It happened to be
on either case.
You have to find the comedy out in something like this, and yours would be, imagine how that phone would have sounded if you practiced using it on the show.
Well, yeah, but Mike, you won't let me take the phone off of the base.
We'll take a break.
What am I going to do, go buy one at home and practice?
And come back with more on the Mike O'Mara Show right after this. I love this show. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show.
You know what,
I never
Mike,
let Rob take the phone off the base.
When the phone came onto this studio and threatened to ruin everything,
yes,
I was the one that killed the show.
We'll fix it. Please, can we get somebody from outside to come in to fix it for us? We need that, you know.
We're 90% there. We ran the wire.
Hey, we heard the guy. That's all that mattered. Vistaprint, that's our sponsor now. So did you know that the folks at Vistaprint.com create all their business card designs in-house?
What's that?
They have an amazing team over there. And I'm still laughing at what you said. You should see the options they offer.
I'm not an engineer.
They have...
Nor am I an art director. And you know what, Oscar? Because I'm not an art director, what I do is I call Vistaprint because they've got people on staff. Let's say you wanted a business card that said just plainly douchebag. What you do is you go to Vistaprint right on their website, and they've got all kinds of clip art and stuff ready to go.
They help you.
Yeah, you click the thing that says douchebag, and you
okay, they don't want that. I have to send this to them. For God's sake, you can't say the DB word again.
Okay, let's say you're a wonderful podcaster with a long list of enemies.
Jeez. Check out this great deal just for our listeners. 250 high-quality premium cards for just $10. Shipping is included. Go to Vistaprint, pick your industry and your card, and start designing. They got all these options for you. Fonts, colors, the size and location of the text. You can add pictures, maps, logos, anything you want.
How much? Anything you want.
Then, just when you think it can't get any better, you can personalize the back of your card as well. The possibilities are endless for a business card that is truly you.
Right.
And once again, send them to us. We'll talk about them on the show. Remember, that's 250 premium cards for only $10. Shipping is included. Just go to Vistaprint.com, click the Heard Us on TV radio button, and enter the code. We all know what it is. TMOS. They have unlimited options to make the best business cards ever. 250 cards, $10. Go to Vistaprint.com, and thank you. Don't forget the code TMOS.
Do it.
Rob, it gets better and better for you.
Well, why? I'm so glad I came in today.
Can I have some story time music? And I hope you didn't see this. Sometimes you don't see. Rob and I have multiple sources when we prepare this show every day, and sometimes they overlap, sometimes they don't. This is one of those situations where I want to be first.
You want to beat me to it?
It's not going to matter, but I hope I'm first with this. Here we go. Perfect. Rob Spiewak, it's story time for you.
Do you hear what he said? Perfect. Let's cherish that.
Rob,
Mike,
make yourself comfortable. Could a Duggar daughter be preparing to start a family of her own?
Wow, I think I'm going to go jump into a cooling fan. You're kidding, right?
I'm not.
Which one?
Jessa.
Shoot me.
Jessa Duggar.
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 She's 20.
Yeah, of course she is. That means she should have 5 kids by now.
She's the third daughter of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar.
Is she the hot one?
She's not. She is not unattractive.
Is she the one that shaves all the time?
Stop it. Now stop him. She's the third daughter of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar of Tauntatown, Arkansas.
What's their last name?
What's the name of the town?
No, the family.
The family?
The family name is?
Duggar.
Duggar.
Of Tauntatown, Arkansas.
Tauntatown.
And Jessa Duggar has entered into a courtship with Ben Seawald, who's 18, and he lives in nearby Hot Springs.
Wow, Seawald found a C word.
The couple's relationship will be featured, here it comes,
Oh, no.
on the TLC show 19 Kids and Counting. Yes, sir. There we go.
Now, when they say that she's entered a courtship, was the hardest part about this finding a way to get back to 1930?
That's, you are on it. Now here is where, this is where it's not the phone line, and this is where your brain is on the same path as it should be. I read this article and I said, my goodness, regardless of your religious beliefs, and I respect everybody's right to practice their religion.
Right.
But when you thrust it down my throat in a television show, I can comment on it.
Of course.
And it does, to me, seem just a tad dated.
Well, she's going to put on her finest taffeta and start receiving callers.
You're going to believe that more when I get into this.
Oh, God.
We are so excited for Ben and Jessa, said Jim Bob.
Duh!
The general,
Duggars.
48 years old, he tells People magazine, they are enjoying getting to know each other and are recommending sermons to one another.
That's good. Thank you, Sperm Cannon.
So what are the differences between courtship and dating? You might wonder what that is, Rob.
I know one thing. It ends up with a very frustrated guy.
Jim Bob explains.
I sure am frustrated.
Now, here's the bonus. Jim Bob's there to explain.
Of
the
course he is.
48-year-old patriarch of the whole family.
Jesus, he's only 48?
Right.
Ugh.
The J machine.
The C machine.
Right. Courting, Jim Bob says, is getting to know each other in a group setting. Both families spending time together and the couple setting goals together to determine if they are meant to marry. With dating, a couple will often pair off alone, and that sometimes leads.
That's a little something for those of you that are watching on the video feed. We can't really say that on the show.
On that.
Yeah.
With dating,
you would, too.
With dating, a couple... dating a couple will often pair off alone, and that sometimes leads to a more physical relationship. Says Jim Bob, the bazooka.
I was just quoting Greaseman.
Isn't it just dating, though?
No, it's not.
Dating.
Because courting is apparently under total supervision.
They're not alone ever.
Oh.
They're totally supervised. Jessa and Ben met in church.
Yes.
And Jim Bob says that they asked to correspond via text and on the phone. So I guess they go to Jim Bob. Mr. Jim Bob, yes, I'm the man. I mean, it's Jim Bob's world in this in the way this is. The Duggars agreed, and I don't think the Duggars agreed.
So he's always there?
I think Jim,
really, this is one to watch on video, folks.
Jim Bob agreed.
Yes.
And they were kept in the conversation as the couple texted each other. So I guess they even supervised their private texts.
Wow.
with one another.
I have one of the texts written down here, Mike. It
Okay.
reads right here. Essa wrote, "Oh, please, God, oh, God, help me."
He says Michelle. I guess Michelle's the baby mama.
Yeah.
She's the one that
Michelle.
squeezed out the 19.
Duh.
It has been interesting to watch their interactions because of her personality type. They share very similar beliefs. It has been fun to watch them, and both of our phones are going off back and forth. Ping, ping, ping.
Wow, do you think the batter bomber is nervous about all this courting?
And incidentally, I should have done the baby talking because, and both of our phones are going on back and forth. Ping, because I've seen her.
Oh,
interviewed.
that's what she's like.
She's a big-time baby
Why
talker.
is this show still on?
Because people love quantity.
Because even
Americans love quantity.
Even if just the family watches it still gets a 0.5 in the Nielsen's.
Michelle writes,
Courtship is not just about having fun. You are really considering if this person could be your life partner. You pray about it, and you see what happens.
1933. Though
Exactly.
other men have approached Jim Bob.
Wow, in a sexual way?
No, to ask if they could begin a relationship with Jessa. Hello, Jim Bob. I'm down the street. I'm the local blacksmith.
Who
I was
seeks
wondering
that
if I
out?
could-
I would think there'd be a series of 6 bad decisions that have to be made in a row before you even start dating a
I
Duggar.
just rolled up to your property. Hey, Jim Bob, I was wondering if there's a chance. Could I have a relationship with your daughter, Jessa? No, you may not.
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, dear.
Anyway.
Looks like Dad spilled again. Can we get a wet nap over here?
Oh, my God.
Its original run started on September 29th, 2008. I can't believe the show has been on for that long.
Even if they focused one episode per kid, they've still got 5 shows to go.
Wow.
He's the first one who has. He is the first one she has shown interest in that has a spiritual focus and legitimate calling about ministry work. Now, listen, I don't begrudge anybody to be religious, and if the parents like the guy because he's religious, that's fine. It just seems that some of these things about supervision and all that are a little out there.
I think what his focus is might not be the Lord, but it might be the reality show.
When a guy's pursuing your daughter, you want to check him out and see if there are any red flags. And with Ben, there hasn't been. He is a very sharp guy and appears like a match made in heaven.
There was a red flag, but they gave it to the father, and it quickly turned white.
We'll take a break, and we'll finish story time.
Good.
Duggars story time with Oscar and Rob right here on the Mike O'Mara Show, everybody. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, everybody. This segment of the program is brought to you by Omericon 2013.
Fantastic.
I haven't got you sent me today's message, correct?
I did.
And,
it should be in his email
and
box.
you said
right?
I'd be very happy about it. Is
Yes.
that correct? So tickets are selling like wildfire.
Do you want to peek at it now?
All right, let me look at it.
See what happens in
I didn't like that hesitation.
No, he doesn't.
No,
Mike,
he
let's
doesn't
stay
want to peek at
focused.
it now.
Let's stay focused on the show.
No, I want to now. It's too late.
I'm
No,
sorry. Oscar, I'm sorry.
It's too late. Don't tell me anything.
You effed
It's
up,
too
so
late.
you whack.
Hold on.
I didn't send it to you because I didn't want to distract you.
Oh, okay, very good.
Yeah.
I'll get
You
it later.
said you did.
Now, hello, we're doing a radio show.
But it was a trick.
Omericon 2013. Come out and watch Oscar lie to you. Tickets are
Come
on
out and
sale.
watch Rob hook up wires.
Yes, tickets are on sale now. Advance purchase is no longer available because you can purchase them. Everybody can.
Yeah.
I want you to share these with your friends. We are, I don't want to overstate it, but we are 3 weeks ahead of our pace from the last time we offered show tickets
Precisely.
to the State Theater. So these tickets are, this is the way the drill goes. You start out slow, and then people go, I went on the website, I didn't get tickets. Well, if you're not getting tickets right now, there is a chance that that's going to happen down the road. We're not sure exactly when, but that's the way it goes, people.
There is a poet, and we mentioned him yesterday, David Frost, and he said, once they're gone, they're gone.
They're gone,
That's right.
absolutely. Joined on stage by Mickey Coachella most recently of the 98 Rock Morning Show, an all-around funny dude, and as usual, there'll be music. Now, that's what I want to talk about.
Ah, good.
And festivities. Save the date, Saturday, November 9th. Get your tickets today. You can go to MikeO'MaraShow.com, click on Omericon 2013. That will take you there. You can also go to the State Theater website and get your tickets that way. And superhero costumes are optional. As you heard this week, if you haven't had your head in the sand, Rob and I are going to, at some point, for 30 minutes on the night of the show, be restroom attendants.
Precisely. We'll have colognes.
Yes.
We'll have all the good
Mike,
things.
so you know I don't lie to you.
Yes.
It's a draft because I said I'm going to email you the ticket numbers,
Very good.
which
very
are
good.
good.
Very good.
And then as I was putting together the email,
Yes.
I said, well, why don't I do this after the show?
That's
I don't
a good
want
idea.
to distract the man.
So it wasn't a lie. You know what it was, Mike? It was simply a miscommunication.
Well, we are well over the halfway mark of selling out this show.
Which means that, you know what, get on the stick, folks.
Yes, please do, and we want to sell this out sooner than later, and please do that for my own mental health. That's it. And now, as far as bands, next week, starting on Monday's show, we will have information how you can send us your band's audition, because being the wonderful opportunists that we are, we like to get a local band that wants to just get exposure. That's another way of saying we're incredibly cheap.
No.
About our bands.
Let me rephrase that, if I
Yes.
may. Mike, is there a day that goes by that you don't try to give back?
I want to give back.
I know you do.
I have, in all seriousness, I have been approached by several bands. The fact is that I've been a little bit behind in doing this portion of the show.
That's all right.
And we need a house band, just like we had out in Reno. We had a lot of fun doing it. You had fun as listeners going through and checking out the bands and giving us your recommendations. Ultimately, we're going to decide which band is going to be on stage with us for Omericon, but that's the way I want to do it.
There is no greater proponent of the local music scene than Mike O'Mara, and this is the way you're giving back.
And now listen, this band could be a multi-piece band, or it could be a great person with a guitar. It really could. I don't want to go so far as to say we need a huge band.
Do you remember Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins when he was the one-man band? Wouldn't that be fun?
I'm making an effort.
As am I.
To sell this idea.
Who wouldn't love to see a one-man band?
Chim Chimmery by balls.
No, I'm not asking him to sing the music
Yes.
of the Mary Tyler. God, Mike.
Step in time.
No, we're not trying to do... Oh, but if he could do the Chimney Sweep song, that would be good.
Are you someone in our listening audience that might not be relating to a 1960s...
I'm just telling you a one-man band would be
musical?
fun.
A one-man... No, I don't. Well, I don't want that one-man band. You know what I think? You think of Dick Van Dyke. I think of the band in the movie Swingers.
Oh, yeah.
And this is a real...
Big Bad Voodoo Daddy is what you want.
No, this is a real obscure reference. When they walk in early on, they go, and it's where he's trying to pick up a chick for the first time.
Right.
And they walk in, and there's this old couple.
Yes.
And they're doing Staying Alive. Does anybody know
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Staying Alive.
Yeah.
And he's hitting the drum. Staying alive.
It's not what you want.
No, we don't want that. But we want music, and we want a musical act. And
do you want anything that is like this? Because, I mean...
The chimney sweep is here. The chimney sweep is here. A step in time. A step in time. Gonna make your chimney shine.
I try every day.
CHIMNEY.
Are you coming to lunch today?
Oh,
yes.
my God. Can you imagine that?
I've got him for another extra hour and a half today, too.
Don't worry, no wiring to be done at lunch.
That's good. So we're going to be doing that. Is Monday too soon, guys? I'm doing
I think
this
Monday. You know what it is? I just checked the stars. It's perfect.
Monday, we will have the information on how you can get in touch with us, the Facebook page,
a YouTube audition, more than likely.
A YouTube audition, and we'll get that set for Monday, and then we're going to have our musical.
Lunas.
So it's Omericon 2013, November 9th at the State Theater. Let me finish the little story of the Duggars.
Good.
I have a quick update, by the way.
Yes, go ahead.
I forget about reality television, how many seasons you can crank
Excuse me,
out.
that sounded gross.
It's its 5th year.
Yes.
How many seasons?
12 seasons. It's 12
So they're doing
seasons.
like 2.5 seasons a year. That's insane.
Yes.
Rob and I have had a hatred for the Duggars for a very long time. It is because they have really done nothing other than poop out 19 children.
That's right.
That's it. Now, look, I am a new father. I know the miracle of life. I know how valuable it is.
But at least you're spreading them out by 16 years.
Thank you very much.
You're populating the Earth, Mother Earth.
And Oscar, on this pattern, there may not be a fourth.
Yes. Pretty safe to say that is.
Uh-oh.
Right.
Unless, Mike, we plan now. We're off to the clinic.
Yeah,
Your intent was to hurt me. You've
No,
succeeded.
no, it was not. It was a celebration of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I was just going to say that there's
It's just the point in time in the Pony where the show they both turn against me.
it's an advertising opportunity.
Yes.
Could you imagine if you go to one of those banks and
Yes.
you're in the same vault as Mike O'Mara?
Oh, wow. Wouldn't that be special?
Yeah, Mike O'Mara's vile.
Oh, God. My vile. Speaking of vile, well, we find the whole Duggar thing. I just don't like to give people credit just for breeding.
Well, you know what? What happened, I've got a slightly longer history than you. Because the Today Show knighted them awesome.
Yes.
What, like 5 or 6 years ago?
About that time.
But about a year before that, I contacted them before they were really nationally known for a phoner because I said, oh, my God, they've got 70 kids.
Oh, see, I never knew this.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? I booked it down, and then I started getting the follow-up calls. Well, what kind of show do you do? And I just said, well, you know, it's a, as what I always said, it's a human interest-oriented talk show. And you know what? That was right in the middle of the area when we really weren't human interest.
Right.
We were more about what he makes so much of to create the
Yeah,
children.
we were going to talk about the quality of his sperm.
And it got very ugly. And you know what happened is they bailed on us.
Of course they did.
And that was after we had nailed down the interview. And you know what?
Because
It's
they
not
want
like,
to have their asses kissed like it is on the Today Show.
it wasn't like losing Bruce Willis, but I still it hurt
You
me
lost
personally.
Bruce Willis?
I didn't know.
No, I would say it's not as if I had lost Bruce Willis.
I didn't know
just
it was
a Duggar.
personal. Now
yeah,
it's
for me it's
personal.
personal. I've talked to this tool before. He can lick my
So was it Jim Bob who you talked to?
like 10 times.
Because he's the control freak.
Yeah, and you know what? You pick up the phone. He sounds like a guy who would be endorsing charcoal. This burns hotter and longer, and it's competition. Hey, what kind of show do you do? Hi, this is James Duggar. Is this Mr. Mr. Rob Spay? I got a question for you. What is, if I were to qualify it, what kind of talk show is it that you do?
Jim Bob Duggar.
Yeah,
Very nice, Rob.
What's your best skit and worst skit, just quickly, as far as being a producer?
Best was probably Simon Cowell when Idol was at the top of its game. Yeah, and it
Got
was
to agree
great.
with that. And it was really a great interview.
That was
I
a lot
enjoyed
of fun.
it.
And the thing about him is he was so cool, even off the air. He was friendly and he was engaging.
I was a
really
selfish
good guy.
interview. I was a bad, selfish interview that had to mention my daughters because I was so gay for Simon Cowell.
No, but you know what? It was at the peak of his power. That was a really, really cool interview to get. A worst one to get is, gosh, I can't. There's been so many.
Maybe the one that you missed out on. I mean,
Oh,
like
one-
that was done. You sold to the guys. You walked in high five.
Rob will tell you this because Rob knows
Right.
from his incarnations as producer of the Don and Mike show. that we would give him and all producers. You did the same, I'm sure, with Drab. It's the guest, it's the great get that comes through town, and we miss it.
Yep.
And we miss that with every goddamn producer we ever had. I include our friend over here, where la la la, and just not reading a newspaper and
or
realizing
you hear them on another radio show.
That's how it would happen.
Would drive me up the wall.
You'd hear them because, I didn't know they were in town. Oh, you mean the people that are performing this weekend or testifying on the Hill? And we missed all those.
Yeah.
We missed all those.
But who was the guy you sold? Because we've been sold guests before, and then sometimes these radio interviews,
so many
they
of
don't
those.
come through, but one's got to be mine.
You know, I think
and
we've been
haunting to
cheesed.
you.
We've been cheesed more than once by Michael Moore,
Yeah.
as I recall.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know what? It's funny. Bruce Willis, I never sold to the guys, but I got very close to getting Bruce Willis.
Nice.
And that was, I think, when the third or fourth Die Hard came out.
The era of radio interviews now, and the way it works now, is most times when you hear a radio interview, you're dealing with a pool of broadcasters that are all going to be talking to these people for 5 minutes, one right after the other. There are some where I've done them, and I've heard them on other radio shows where they cut the interview. They literally hang up the phone because
gone.
they have to move on and they have to do it.
If you
It's
really
just-
want to get inside, we were always at a disadvantage by being in PM Drive because there were so few talk shows in PM Drive. They never booked those availabilities.
They didn't cluster.
They didn't cluster them in the afternoon.
They did those for morning shows, like between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. when they would all come on.
I just nerded out. Like I'm sitting here asking questions like a fan.
No, it was just
but it's true. And the other problem we had is even when we were in Rockville, that's closer to D.C. than Fairfax. But those two locations were just far enough to be away from the District of Columbia where they wouldn't make the drive.
Well, and also the drive was almost always irrelevant, but even the phone interviews became this cluster F.
Always.
And, they're pooled now, and you get people from reality shows that are do pool interviews, and, it's frustrating.
It's
It
really not
is.
worth
the people you want to get
It's
normally
not
are
worth jumping through hoops to get Rupert.
Right.
You know, it isn't.
That's
it's
why
just not.
It's so rare, and it's so exciting for me when we have the opportunity to talk about a timely event with somebody who lived it. And I would much rather talk to a guy like Sergeant Brown than I would, talk to somebody who might be a B-level celebrity. It just doesn't do it for me. Go ahead.
Just the one guy that we got, and we simply did it being creative. There was a hack radio show in the Arizona area that used to do Who Do You Know? And when you live like on the West Coast, especially near Scottsdale or LA,
you're always
it's
a
kind
few.
of an entertainment business,
Right,
right?
of
So we
course.
tried it
You're
here.
closer than you are on the East Coast.
We tried it here in DC and almost got nothing except for one
I
guy.
don't agree with that, Rob. I don't think you're closer. I'm just kidding. I don't think Phoenix is closer to Los Angeles than D.C.
What I meant is the connections are closer. You know what you are? You're silly. That's your problem.
Thank you.
We got Robert Duvall to call in.
And shocker, he lives.
God, he basically lives in the zit.
He lives half an hour away.
Yeah.
We had a listener.
I think he still lives out there.
We had a listener whose mom worked at Robert Duvall's house.
Right.
And he
Hooker.
asked Robert Duvall to call in for this contest we had.
That's so much fun.
And
makes it more fun.
He
that
stayed
way.
on the line with us for, I would say, 34. We missed a commercial break because again, you don't think they're going to call,
Sure.
because it ends in disappointment.
And as I recall, he doesn't do a lot of media, but on talk shows and stuff, he's very engaging. He's a good guest.
So great.
He's a funny guy and a legend. That's cool. You can
Beautiful
talk-
head of hair.
When you can talk to a legend, it's God.
Skeletor.
All right, forget it.
Thanks for calling,
Forget it.
Skeletor.
I had to write this one paragraph on the Duggars story, then I'll throw it away.
Story time.
Like older brother Josh, whose courtship with now wife Anna was documented on their reality show. Jesus Christ, pigs. Jessa will save her first kiss for marriage. Quote,
What?
Dad allowed them to do a side hug. What is a side hug?
It's the hug
where
where you
does
shimmy in.
Where does the penis come into a side hug?
Oh, if it does, you're doing it wrong.
When they were officially courting, Michelle, 47, explains. I guess she's squeezing them out like one after the other now, too.
Sure.
Jessa and Ben have said that was the only contact they would have when they initially greet each other. When he comes to visit for their first hello, they have a quick 30-second or less side hug.
If they don't get married fast, this guy's going to be doing a side hug with a razor
So
blade.
does a side hug mean not genital to genital contact?
I
Is
believe
that what
so.
Not
that's
allowed.
about?
You know what I'd like to see?
You know what the problem is? These people are. Excuse me. How about a nice one-on-one hug, and you don't you turn into Johnny Pervolino?
Yeah.
I don't like hugging in front of my parents.
Right.
Let
Or-
alone in front of a camera.
Well, my
How
problem
about-
is whenever I'd hug any of my dates, I'd get a big old boner.
oh, God.
No, I'm just kidding. That's
What
This is
No,
like the
you're not
undercurrent
kidding.
of this.
What if there's a compromise? First of all, we take the reality show off TLC,
Yes.
and put it on like Spice. And what happens?
Here's
is
my-
Dad stays in the room.
No, we need the real porno music. What's the do-noont? Do you have that?
I do. Give me a second.
And we put now this is fun. The Duggars on Spice.
Taboo 10, starring
yes.
the Duggars.
The Vivid Channel is proud to welcome, after their recent cancellation on TLC, the Duggars, Michelle and Jim Bob and their progeny of 19. And now, Jim Bob is going to demonstrate the side hug.
The side hug is followed by Jim Bob's.
This is known as the Duggar Dicky side hug.
Now's the time for the youngest Duggar girl to learn about a phrase called third base.
Now you made it you went too far.
No, the oldest Duggar girl.
The oldest
Forgive me.
Duggar girl, not the
Jessa.
youngest.
No, not the youngest. Jesus, you know what happens sometimes?
What is
Michelle?
wrong with you today?
Today.
Wouldn't you seriously like to look at the browser history on those computers in that home?
The Duggars on Vivid.
I bet you there is autocomplete for birth control if you just put in the letter B.
I think you ramp up this guy, Ben, by having the quick 30-second or less side hug and a goodbye side hug.
Yeah, you know what? I think you could ramp him up just by looking at him.
Jeez. Jessa and three of her sisters, Jana, Jill, and Ginger.
Oh, you know
also
what?
with a Jake. He's a dick.
What else
I
does-
hate Jim Bob. I'm going to put the letter in my name. But you know what? An
All
egomaniac
J's.
ass.
What else starts with J.I.? I wonder. This is my
think
youngest son.
You couldn't give a child that name.
Oh no! Well, a middle name. What if it was a girl? You could call it like Jasmine, but very similar to Jasmine.
Okay, stop it.
How many seasons?
Perhaps like with an MAN at the end.
How many seasons does this show go for? It's on its 12th now, 5th year.
I think that is the only thing that's going to keep the show going is they farm out now the breeding to the older daughters. That's what they're doing. It's just like
This
a
is a
corporation.
spin-off.
It's disgusting.
It's got to be a shelf
This
life.
is
You
no.
agree?
This
Isn't
is
this
like
a little
putting.
disgusting.
I watched I would say the first and second season, probably because I would hear it on your show because I wanted to hear what you guys were talking about.
Right.
And then I said, I really can't get into this because it's the same thing every week.
Right.
And outside of it, I don't know if this is the best example for people out there where if you don't really have the means or on a TV show, you shouldn't be having 19 children.
What they're going to do is
they
they're
have
gonna,
the means though because
now they do.
they get completely subsidized.
What they're going to do is they're going to keep doing this until they can no longer do the kid angle, and then there'll be a new reality show which is called 19 Funerals and Counting.
Take it all the way to
They
the
could be
funeral.
on for 70 years.
Nah, it's just gross. It just, I mean, to me, it's always bothered me. It to me is exploiting your children like nobody's business, and they are not their own. Obviously, he is the dominant male figure that makes all the decisions for these, and I think it's odd, and I think it's disturbing, and I think there are problems with something like that.
Well, of
But then
course.
again, the one tenet of the Bible that I've always maintained: judge not, lest ye be judged.
That's right, and give back.
That's the way. Hey, real quick before we go to break, I
Yeah.
want to give a cable update because I've been watching a lot of cable programming right now, and I got two that I want to give a rave to. I want to give one that's most improved, and then I want to give one that is just, in my opinion, missing the boat. This
Are
year.
any of them reality shows, or are they all scripted?
They're all scripted TV.
Okay,
That's what I
which
like to
one
watch.
is missing the boat?
Well, the missing the boat. I'll give you the first good ones. Okay, Newsroom wrapped up. They're already done. The finale.
Right.
And as far as for
Save the season.
for you incurable romantics out there, I thought really it was as tender and sweet a final episode. It was old-fashioned Hollywood feel-good, and I loved it. I really enjoyed
Will it be back, or is this the end of the series?
I
It
defer
will
to
be
my
back,
colleague over here.
Though I will say that this season, unfortunately, they had such a great first season that this season, while it was saved a little bit by the finale, it's still tough to muster through.
Yeah, it's tough.
You know?
I think that they could slow it down a little bit and just make it a little bit more newsy.
Yeah.
And I think they'd get away with
And
that.
make that girl with the horrible hair pretty again.
Well, and
she's
also,
so hard to look at.
she's hard to look at.
Oscar Santana hates a bad haircut.
And it's the girl with the ugly haircut that always has the scene with that other guy.
Yeah.
Please stop.
With
Please,
Jim?
With Jim. Please stop with them.
Yeah.
I mean,
put the bigger actors on the stage more often instead of the little pretty kids that that aren't doing it for me. But anyway, it saved it at the end. I like that. Another show that is, if you've been following it, and a lot of people haven't, but I have, Dexter. It is coming down to the wire, and let me tell you, man, the finale, I just cannot wait. It is just it is ramping up to a great way to say goodbye to their fans.
And is it the 6th or 7th season? That show's been on a long time.
I think it's the 7th season, and they go away, but that's good. Boardwalk Empire, most improved, and I'll tell you why it's most improved. You know what they're doing? They're being gangsters. It's a gangster show, and they're back to the gratuitous violence. I say fantastic.
They're no longer relying on Buscemi's good looks.
And now the one that I cannot stand, and I am trying to muddle through, but Sons of Anarchy, Jesus Christ.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that.
Get your act together, and please don't put me to sleep in the first half. I can't wait till the second half of every episode for stuff to happen. You are really punting it.
I'm so glad you say this, because my father, based on your recommendations for years, has tried to get into it this year.
Right.
And he called me the other day, and I know when he doesn't even say hello, when he launches into an opening statement, he says, "What's the matter with Mike?" And I said, "What?" He says, "Sons of Anarchy sucks."
It's terrible.
So it's really good. The show is different than it was.
I love motorcycles, and that's the only reason I'm watching it right now. And I'm sorry, if motorcycle gangs, if they had that many women associated with their lives on a daily basis, like in the clubhouse, they'd be screwed. Sorry, there's my misogynistic comment of the day.
Oh boy,
no, it's just terrible. So I fell asleep last night watching it, and I might try to finish it today. But
well, Jackson's has got a lot of. He's a movie star now.
Yeah, I know. 50 Shades of Grey. Incidentally, thumbs up from Mrs. O'Mara on that one.
Hey, that makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Yes, sirree. Yeah. We'll take a break.
You have
back
50 Shades of Grey in your beard.
With news you may not need right after this.
Well, won't you tell me what you want?
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. This segment is brought to you by the Mike O'Mara Show's Amazon page. Amazon is the one place to go for everything you need. Do you love music?
I do.
Sure you do. Do you love music?
I do.
Well, music lovers, Amazon's got you covered. Of course, Amazon has all the CDs you crave, but also hundreds and thousands of MP3s available for instant download. Right now, and unlike some other online merchants, iTunes, Amazon songs play across all platforms.
True.
Sweet. And did you know that sales of music on vinyl has gone up 745%? Did you know that? Did you?
It's true.
In the past 5 years, well, guess what? Buy your LPs on Amazon. Not only do they have the best selection, but Amazon's auto rip feature. Now you can get a digital copy of every select LP you buy. So that kind of backs them up.
It's so cool. It's like twice the music. You buy an album on Amazon, you get the vinyl delivered to your house, and then you go to your computer. You can download the songs digitally, and you've got them in your computer already.
AutoRip also gives you digital copies of select CDs you buy at Amazon as well. It's like double the music. If you need it, Amazon has it. Always open at MikeO'MaraShow.com. Amazon, what do you have there?
Just quickly, we received a gift here, and at one point I got an adult toy from a listener.
Yes.
This time around from Amazon.com through the Mike O'Mara Show. I would like to thank James Rumsey for the mug, the coffee mug.
Oh,
that's actually titled the Douche Mug.
I'm a douche.
So
hey!
if you're on Ustream or YouTube, you can actually see me take a drink out of this mug. Hey, it says I'm a douche.
You know what it is? It's a clever
Thank you,
novelty
James.
because it says I'm a douche on the bottom, so you don't see it until someone is actually sipping out of it. How terrific!
From around the globe, across the nation, looking through
That's
your
good
neighbor's
stuff.
window. The Mike O'Mara Show now presents News You May Not Need.
Funny.
A comprehensive look at the stories you may or may not be talking about during your daily activity. And now, News You May Not Need.
Rhode Island police warned the U.S. Navy last month that Washington Navy Yard gunman Aaron Alexis had reported hearing voices.
Yikes.
Raising further questions about how he gained security clearance at the complex where he went on a shooting rampage. Officials say Alexis, a Navy contractor and former Navy reservist, opened fire at the Navy Sea Systems Command on Monday. You know this already. He killed 12 people before police shot him dead. The shooting, 1.5 miles from the U.S. Capitol and 3 miles from the White House, sent shockwaves through D.C. The Pentagon said it would review security at military installations around the world, and the White House promised to review standards for federal government contractors. It's the same drill that happens all the time. Very, very difficult, but hopefully, as we talk to Sergeant Brown about, we'll get some systems in place where we can prevent or at least have cross communication. So when there's a lunatic around, people know this guy went and got treatment. People knew he was
scary.
Crazy.
So scary.
A lawyer for former Penn State football coach Jerry Sandusky, convicted of molesting young boys, argued on Tuesday that he deserved a new trial because the judge made several errors, including one that left the defense flying blind at the trial. Philadelphia attorney Norris Gelman, hey, Gelman, just like Regis'
Really?
old producer.
Awesome.
He argued before a 3-judge appeals panel in state superior court that Judge John Cleland, the trial judge, failed to instruct the jury that the boys did not make a prompt report of their sexual abuse, sometimes waiting more than a decade to speak with authorities. That's what he says. The time that elapsed between the molestation and initial report is striking, Gelman said. The long delay could have drawn into question their credibility. I say, what?
Yeah, I don't think there should be a statute of limitations on that crime.
Where's my music,
I'm
man?
looking for it, man.
All right, well, here we go. Colorado authorities, coping with the aftermath of last week's deadly downpours, stepped up the search for victims left stranded in the foothills of the Rockies and evacuations of prairie towns in danger of being swamped as the flood crest moved downstream. As of Tuesday, 8 people were confirmed dead from the flash floods, triggered by a week of historically heavy rains that drenched a 130-mile stretch of the eastern slopes of the Colorado Rockies. At least 1,600 homes were destroyed, and our thoughts go out to everybody
it's so bad
out
to
there.
look at that stuff out there.
Cher has a few choice words about the Miley Cyrus twerkathon on MTV's Music Awards.
God, more of this?
The hyperactive sexual performance with Robin Thicke was so bad, says the famously outspoken diva.
Actually, what she said, Mike, was, it's so bad.
So bad.
I can't move my mouth.
But not for reasons that riled most people. Cher is no stranger to controversy and scandal. She didn't find any shock value in Cyrus's tongue-wagging, booty-thumping display. She says, I'm not old-fashioned. She told this to USA Today.
Right.
She could have come out naked, and if she'd just rocked the house, I would have said, you go, girl. It just wasn't done well. I'm totally with Cher on
You know
this.
what? She actually has a point.
She can't dance. Her body looked like hell. The song wasn't great. One cheek was hanging out. And don't tick out your tongue if it's coated.
I love Cher. I do love Cher.
Nasty, nasty, nasty. It's one thing to sell Halloween decorations of human corpses. Other than the occasional person who thinks it's real and calls 911, we're fine with bloody, mangled fake humans. But we are not cool when you do that to dogs. This week, Sears, Walmart, and Amazon were all selling a Halloween decoration online called the Dead Dog Prop.
What?
Carla's not going to like this. The dead dog prop looks like a bloody skinned dog.
Wow, you were threatening to make that prop this morning before the show.
It has.
But not by going to
Oh, it's
Sears.
so gross. It has a tire track on its back, like it's been squished. And
See, Oscar, that's not funny.
And a chain attached to its mouth like it's been dragged. How sick is this? As soon as people saw it for sale, they started making impassioned and outraged calls for it to be removed. And all... Have you seen
you've
it?
seen the picture now?
You have the picture of it?
I mean, get over yourself, people. It's
Let me see.
Halloween.
Let me see.
There you go.
Let me see.
Big win, big win.
Oh, that is nasty.
Wow, and that's
That
available.
is nasty.
And you say it's available at Sears?
Let me see. What are they? All the ones. Sears, Walmart, and Amazon.
The beauty is if you buy it at Sears, it comes with that Craftsman lifetime warranty.
So nasty. All right, so they've all stopped selling it. They blamed it on a third-party seller. And since all 3 companies have smaller merchants who sell stuff through their sites, they can blame it on them.
You know what,
That's the way
Oscar?
it
It would really, really wake up your apartment this October.
Yeah.
Look good.
Brad
Get one of
Pitt
those.
showed up at a British hotel one day last week for a meeting, and there just happened to be a wedding going on. The groom, one Daniel Lingwood, noticed Brad and some other guys at a table at the bar and brought his bride, Abby, over for a picture. Abby says, quote, he congratulated us on our wedding and said I looked great in my dress, shook our hands and said to pose for a picture. He was very accommodating.
Well, that's nice.
And that's when I gave him a mouth favor. No, she didn't say that.
hey.
He was very accommodating. Unfortunately, I didn't get a kiss from him. The women at the wedding went dog nuts and rushed over for pictures. Brad accommodated a few of them, but then said, quote, this is the last one. We're trying to have a meeting. As a fun aside, a few witnesses claim that Shia LaBeouf was there, and nobody paid attention to him.
That's great. They probably thought he was.
poor
He said, can I
Shia.
get a refill on this, please, Shia?
The term midget isn't politically correct anymore, except apparently when it comes to porno. 18-year-old Sergio Sanez of Chaparral, New Mexico, knows all about that. On August 22nd, Sergio and a 17-year-old friend broke into a mobile home and stole electronics, kitchen appliances, furniture, and most importantly, the owner's robust collection of midget porn.
Oh, no.
Then he set the place on fire.
Hey, that's terrific.
The police traced the robbery to Sergio. They found all the stolen items, including, quote, multiple DVDs relating to midget pornography. He was charged with several felonies, including arson, burglary, and breaking and entering. And it will not, I repeat, not be a short sentence. I think he used a little bad judgment there. And those cells are small. I mean, how low can you go? All right, anyway.
You know what, Mike?
What?
At least he won't get off scot-free.
Scot-free. Scott the Dwarf. Hey! We'll take a break, come back with the audio vault with Rob Spewak right after this. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. This segment of the program brought to you by Hulu Plus. We love Hulu Plus, and you love Hulu Plus as well.
Yes.
Hulu Plus has great shows, just like Jimmy Fallon, Modern Family, The New Girl, The Colbert Report, all these great shows. Here is a wonderful deal just for our listeners. For TMOS listeners, you get an extended free trial. That's an extra week of Hulu Plus. 2 weeks. Give it a try. You will love it. You know how you get it. All you have to do is put in our fabulous code, or you can simply go to huluplus.com/TMOS. It's very easy, and we want you to do it right now. The amount of programming you get on Hulu Plus is endless. This is a free trial, and it starts the minute you click the banner. You can use it on your Blu-ray, your Roku, Apple TV, your PC, your smartphone, your tablet. Endless entertainment on demand at all times. Hulu Plus is a wonderful, wonderful place to get all your information, and more importantly, control when and where you want to watch it. Control is the best thing to have.
The best.
Control got a lot easier with Hulu Plus. Once again, click on the Hulu Plus banner at MikeO'MaraShow.com or go to HuluPlus.com/TMOS. Let's open it up right now. Here we go. Thank you.
Open, yes. Good.
Did I get that right?
It's absolutely right.
Very good.
You know, we were well ahead of the curve on the What Does the Fox Say song, but I got to give a heads up and a good amount of credit to listener Eric Quick for this newest remix of What Does the Fox Say, Mike. You know, it's the song that's sweeping the nation.
Is this as popular as I'm getting the impression that it is from you? Because I don't know, because I don't follow those
and
things.
It's catchy.
Okay.
And as you know, it's all about the fact that all animals have a sound that they make, but no one knows what the fox says. But Mike, what does Red Fox say?
What does the fox say? Big, 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 big dummy. Big, 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 big dummy. Big, 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 big dummy.
Once again, the Sanford and Son rears its ugly head.
Best part.
You hear that, Elizabeth? I'm coming to join you, honey.
Thank you, Eric. I love that. I do, you big dummy.
Silliness begets silliness, doesn't it?
It does, and when it can get sillier than What Do the Fox Say, it's
Absolutely.
pretty silly. Good Morning America had Britney on, I believe, yesterday to announce her new, and I love, they have a phrase for it now, a Vegas residency.
Okay.
When you do a show for a tremendous stretch of time at one casino, I think she's at the Hard Rock, and they were asking Britney about her Vegas residency, and it didn't take her long to say she was very excited and that she threw up in the helicopter.
It's craziness. It's so chaotic. Actually, I got sick in the helicopter. I was like, oh my God, but this is amazing. This is so cool.
She's class.
She is such a pig.
Isn't she? Oink?
She has always been a little piggy pie. She really has.
A quick update. And Rob, really, I hate to give him credit.
Right.
The video itself on YouTube has gotten more than 33 million
What
views.
does the fox say?
What does the fox say?
Right.
And then right now, the single's on the number 29 spot on the Billboard Hot 100.
It's
chart.
trending, and headed up.
It's shooting up the charts.
That's awesome. And because it's fun. And
It's silly, but it's a good song.
It's got a melody, and it's fun. I can see why that's happening.
They went on to ask Britney some personal stuff, including, do you know who gave her first kiss? Jim Bob Duggar. No, I'm sorry. That's a mistake. Let's go to the tape.
If you had to look back and pick your favorite hit, which would be the one that you liked the most?
I really like Toxic.
How old were you when you had your first kiss?
Oh my God. Maybe 13.
All right, do you remember who it was?
It was Justin.
Favorite dance?
Justin Bieber gave her first kiss.
Really?
Not Justin Bieber,
No,
Justin
Timberlake.
Timberlake.
Bieberlake wasn't even born then.
Forgive me.
What a great new celebrity, though. Thompson Bieberlake.
Perfect. And boy, can he dance.
I like that.
Also, because this was a big announcement, that everyone was going crazy that she's announcing her Vegas residency, KTLA sent someone out there, but because they had to be live on East Coast time very early in Las Vegas. So KTLA sent out a reporter by the name of Courtney Friel, And she says she's sleep deprived. Do you think maybe when you hear this tape of coverage, maybe she was having a night when she was called in?
You know, with the hours, you never know. It's happened on morning shows before. I know a friend of mine that showed up for a morning show a couple of times where he had a little too much evening.
And the fact that she was called in unexpectedly, she doesn't seem to be doing that well. And what's great, with all this coverage, she never got a chance to talk to Britney.
Okay,
so this is just her doing the best she can.
That will be interesting how the news people are going to say work, B-I-T-C-H.
That's right. Work. But, this is live, so, you can't edit it now, right?
That's right. Whoops, erase, rewind, not possible. And they asked me to host a live stream, and I didn't even know. I mean, I kind of had an idea, yes. So that's why this is all on the fly. There wasn't too much prep for this, okay? So if there's any mistakes, we're all a little sleep deprived here. Well, do you have any Britney moves, like, I don't know, the whole, oh, baby. We'll just do
She's
this
wasted.
until we get
She
radio.
is.
So let's see. What do we want to talk about?
Poor thing
now?
probably only had about 4 glasses of wine, but she's wasted.
Look, the sun is coming up. I can't wait to show you this later on in the morning.
Later?
Oh my gosh, look! There is a drone flying around.
Jesus.
A liter of vodka.
Is there any chance?
Yes.
Because I'd like to see the video before I make my final determination that she just could be such an abysmal bubblehead that she's just an idiot.
Could be, but that doesn't sound like sleep deprivation to me. That
Sounds like she's loaded.
It sounds like she's coming down off a load.
Right.
Yeah.
Britney's Pieces of Me will be in Vegas when we're in Vegas.
Really?
Oh, we'll go
Yes.
see it.
I'd go see Britney.
Yeah?
I would too.
I'd grease the maitre d' too. Get down front. So
I'd grease the performer.
because it's really not a Britney show unless you can smell Britney.
That's right.
Just 5 grown men.
I think the best take on Britney's Vegas residency came from Jimmy Kimmel.
Britney Spears was on Good Morning America this morning to announce that she signed a deal for 2 years of shows in Las Vegas. Starting December 27th, Britney will do 50 shows a year at the Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino. The show will feature both classic and new songs, as well as some of her signature moves, like walking barefoot out of a bathroom, holding a Starbucks latte.
Kimmel's the
Because
best.
you know what? That's an image I will never shake from my head.
Walking barefoot out of a restroom bathroom
Oh.
holding a Starbucks latte.
So bad.
Do you remember when Britney had all of those pictures and there was never a photograph of her where she didn't have some sort of gooey, syrupy
You actually
milkshake
coined a
concoction?
phrase. She says you would say Britney always has a gooey frap.
A gooey frap.
It's
in her
always
hand.
Britney with a gooey frap.
Or she had her baby as she was using her baby as an airbag.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's right in the front seat.
Guess who I guess people have forgiven, at least the people of Houston, is Paula Deen.
Okay.
She did her first live appearance since all the dust up.
I can't help myself. I look at that poor woman as a tragic figure. I know she's a pig.
Sure.
And look, I just don't know whether I'd really like, when an employee takes a run at somebody, and they're really, like when Pony's going to write the tell-all about us.
Exactly.
I don't know. I just don't think she's guilty of saying the things
She's guilty of one thing, being hot.
Oh, yeah, sure she is.
Oh,
I don't
but-
know. I don't know. Maybe it's the grandmotherly thing. I think I'm skewed on
Here
that.
she comes out. When she comes out and this is her first appearance since all that trouble.
Oh, God.
That's an ugly cry, Mama.
I'm sorry. This is my first time out in 3 months. And I've said all along that the one place that I would want to make my first step back out was Texas.
I can't help it. I had to play
Exactly
that.
what I
As
got
much as
out
I'm
of it.
saying I feel sorry about Paula Deen, but then I got to play that after she said, the one place, you're trying not to be a racist. She said, the one place I wanted to come out was Texas.
I've never felt so much love.
I don't see any minorities in the audience, but I sure wanted to say that I love Texas.
If you put your hand on the pulse of the room, never have I felt so much love in a Klan meeting.
I am getting a sense of white love in this room that I've never felt in my life.
And just a quick mention, we close with Miley Cyrus. Apparently, even though she's very much in the news,
yes,
Miley's personal life not going as well as it might.
Miley Cyrus and her fiancé have officially called off their engagement.
Yeah.
But it does seem that both Miley and her fiancé, Liam Hemsworth, have moved on. They both moved on. Liam has already been spotted with another woman, and Miley has been spotted at the hardware store licking the hammers.
That's your magic audio bulb.
That's it. We got to get out of here. I want to thank Sergeant Andy Brown.
Awesome guy.
His story was fascinating, and he offered some wonderful insight on the situation here at the Navy Yard in Washington, D.C. Once again, our prayers go out to all those people that are dealing with that tragedy right now, and hopefully we can fix this broken system of ours and prevent future tragedies from happening. And I wouldn't count it, but we can hope for it. That's it for tech support questions for the Mike O'Mara Show. Contact our man Ponyboy at MikeO'MaraShow.com. All correspondence for our show can be sent to TMOS, P.O. Box 3, Manassas, Virginia 20108. And don't forget, tickets are on sale now for OmaraCon 2013 live at the State Theater, November 9th. Get your tickets today. For Rob Spiewak and Oscar Santana, Mike O'Mara saying, see you next time, everybody.
Bye-bye. Ciao, ciao.
Oh, yeah, one more thing. Please remember to grab your extended free trial of Hulu Plus, a special offer just for our listeners. Go to MikeO'MaraShow.com and click on the Hulu Plus banner and start watching all of your favorite shows right now. Or you can go to HuluPlus.com/TMOS. Again, that's HuluPlus.com/TMOS. Or click the Hulu Plus banner at MikeO'MaraShow.com. You may go now.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.